Hello, you guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Ali, and here on YouTube, I share the journey of my spiritual awakening, of really growing and evolving through all the shifts that the universe is currently going through. And although I do not post as much on this particular social media platform, I do feel inspired on occasions to make a video and share it with you guys. But if you are interested and you like my content, I invite you to follow me on Facebook, Lighthouse Alley, or on my Instagram channel, Lighthouse Journey. On those platforms, I post a lot more often just because it's a little bit easier for me and faster, because with making videos, it just takes a little bit longer to get them processed. So anyway, yeah, let's get into today's topic and really get to the point of what is a spiritual awakening and why is it happening, and what does it look like for people from all around the world that are currently experiencing this particular awakening. So, yes, what is a spiritual awakening? What is this whole spiritual journey that people are talking about right now? Well, for me personally, spiritual awakening is a time in your life when you have been triggered by something to really start questioning yourself and your reality that you are currently living in. My spiritual awakening started happening at about 2012, and it never really hit its kind of like peak point until like 2015. So it's a really slow process that takes time and internal integration. But once it starts happening, there is really no turning back. And depending on you and your journey, perhaps you had a trigger that really pushed you into this path. For a lot of people, spiritual awakening happens after, a really traumatic experience, perhaps like a health thing, or a car accident, or a near death experience, or perhaps you had somebody die in your family, or perhaps, you went to a place that, had a calling and you just felt like something started to shift within you. So, like I said, for some people, things happen really fast. For others, things happen very slow and subtle. And that's how it started happening for me. My awakening started happening very subtly, and it all kind of started unfolding, step by step, one synchronicity after the other, one book after the other, different articles, different videos started kind of popping into my newsfeed, and I would start showing interest in different topics. So depending where you are in your life, just know that if you are going through this, congratulations. That is awesome, because not everybody is in a place right now throughout the world where they are able to experience such beautiful transformation. So if you are going through spiritual awakening, congratulations. You have been tapped on a shoulder, and it's time for you to start, discovering this life that we come here to live, and to start unfold these deeper layers of yourself, and start healing parts of yourself that are keeping you back from your own light. So yeah, welcome to this path. So like I said before, my journey has been happening since about 2012. It didn't really pick up until 2015. And what has really helped me throughout the beginning of my journey is to really find out my own truth of the world that I live in. So, when I speak to my clients and people that I work with, a lot of people go through the same thing. The beginning phase of this spiritual awakening is the research phase, the phase where we just want to know everything that's out there. For me, it was all about health and wellness. I wanted to know the truth about the pharmaceutical industry, the truth about the food production, the water, the fluoride. How is our body being manipulated by these higher systems to keep us in the dark, to keep us in a low vibration frequency. I wanted to know all about the conspiracy theories about the 9/11 and the pyramids, and the history, and why the history has been hidden from us. I dwelled into looking into, the Pleiadians and the Syrians and the different star systems that are out there. And I just wanted to know about the aliens and the worlds that are beyond the earth, because I knew that we're not just sitting here by ourselves, floating in space, just earth and us humans by ourselves. I mean, that's just crazy to think. Once I started to learn that there are different dimensions that we are able to experience, I understood that perhaps there are beings here present with us on earth that we are not able to see simply because of the frequency that we are on. So I wanted to learn about the different species and aliens that are out there, and to really not fear them, but to know that there are beings that are existing in this dimension with us that we just can't see. And sometimes when we open ourselves up to experiencing higher dimensional frequency within ourselves, then we might open our third eye enough so that we can actually start seeing these beings and these energies, so that, if I reach that level in my journey, when it started to happen, that way I wouldn't start panicking and freaking out. So yeah, so I spent a lot of time researching and pretty much getting my mind in a state of understanding, like, okay, what is my truth? What do I resonate with? I learned about different religions and Christianity and Buddhism and Catholicism, and I just kind of understood that for me, spirituality was my own creation of my own beliefs and how I wanted to start approaching life. The next phases of spiritual awakening that at least I was going through is really starting to work with my body. Now that I had the understanding of how the governments were trying to keep people in the low vibrational frequency by feeding us processed foods and putting chemicals in our water and having all these toxic ingredients in our body products, in the things that we put in and on our body, I said, I'm going to take charge of my life, and I started to focus heavily on detoxification of my body. Meaning that I started to become mindful and conscious of what I was eating, the water that I was drinking. I started to buy products and really read the labels that are on the back to know that if I'm putting something on my body, like, it needs to nurture me. It cannot have poison in it to once again go into my bloodstream, to weaken my immune system, to make me more, sustainable to flus and different illnesses that are going around. So my second phase was to really build my body up with strength and to create this really strong immune system so that I can start raising my frequency, so that my spiritual practice that I'm doing isn't just taking place, in the spiritual realm, but it's also really integrating into the body that I've been working on to create the lightness within, right? So so I spent a couple of years really getting into buying herbal supplements and detoxification systems, and drinking fluoride-free water and switching more to vegetable-based diet. And to this day, I still continue on taking my supplements, like part of my daily supplement routine. I drink apple cider vinegar mixed with water every single morning, because what it does for me, it alkalizes the system. So when I wake up, I drink a nice glass, it filters out my body, it takes away, anything that has been kind of sitting overnight and didn't digest properly. And then I also have my spirulina supplements that are really great for detoxing the blood and the liver and trying to get rid of metals in my body. And then I have different mineral traces that I drink for the decalcification of my third eye, and just like minerals and supplements and vitamins that support my overall wellness. And when I buy my supplements, I do make sure that I invest into them. And I actually, I don't just buy stuff that you can get from Walmart or Target, because a lot of that stuff is filled with synthetic fillers that most of which don't even get absorbed into your body. So if you are spending money on supplements for your body, please make sure that you read the ingredients and you really are mindful of what's inside before you start ingesting that into your body. The next part of spiritual awakening, once again from my story and something perhaps that you're going through or will go through, is now starting to connect to spirit. So now that I've done the whole mind thing of really figuring out my truth, doing the research, reading, listening, tons of stuff, and then I have came to clearing my body and becoming lighter and changing my diet and my overall lifestyle. So now I've been really guided to start creating a spiritual practice that has helped me to connect to spirit. So the integration of my spiritual awakening is now taking me through my mind, body, and spirit within myself. So my spiritual practice, it has really evolved over the years, but whatever it is for you, just find something that helps you find yourself, find the stillness, find the connection to your own guides, your own higher self, whatever it is for you. I love having an altar space. Like in my room here, I have a beautiful altar with my deities, with my crystals, with all the spiritual tools that I use to cleanse my energy, to help me feel grounded and centered. So my spiritual practice in a way is also my art, because I am really involved into it when I do it, when I'm in that space, when I channel, when I do my oracle card readings. I personally don't journal as much anymore as I used to. I'm just not a crazy fan of journaling, but for some people, journaling is their spiritual practice. So yeah, so now starting to really connect to spirit and your soul and find ways that you can really access higher realms and messages and that intuitive guidance, so that you can start flowing through life and really start to act as a higher being and not just the limited human that we were taught to be. So yeah, so those are like the 3 steps of my own spiritual awakening, and it's been several years now of a lot of learning, figuring out, shedding layers, a lot of shadow work, dark night of the soul, depression, anxiety. I had a lot of high highs and really low lows, and still the journey is never ending. I'm constantly learning and growing, except now I am in a very empowered and humble place in my life where I can offer the guidance to other people who are going through spiritual awakening, and I can coach my clients, and offer them different tools and resources that I have gathered along my journey. So it's a beautiful place to be in, and I'm so grateful that, everything happened and the timing that it did, because I'm really starting to see that world right now is shifting in so many ways. So many people are really opening up to feeling life on such deep, profound levels. And a lot of people are, not understanding what is happening. They don't know, what are all these shifts? Why am I feeling so much in my body? Why am I so emotional? And they start to think like something is wrong with them, when in truth, nothing is wrong with you. You are just opening up your senses. You are becoming more sensitive to bullshit. This is the time of, learning who you are and finding stillness and setting boundaries and like really going inward to find out what it is that you need, so that you can function in this world as a higher dimensional being that you are waking up to be. Okay, so yeah, so that's what I have for you today as far as spiritual awakening and sharing my journey through this process. And I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this. I hope you've taken away what is needed for you. If you have any questions about anything, if you are struggling with something and you're going through something difficult and you just want to reach out and talk, please, let me know, leave me a comment, send me an email. I'm here to support and assist all the souls who are here and open to connect with me, because I've been there, I've done that, and I know exactly what I can do to help you. So yeah, so stay in touch, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And once again, if you want to follow me on Instagram, Lighthouse Journey, where I share a lot more about spirituality, sexuality, tantra, sacred sexuality, and just tools and resources for self-mastery. So follow me on there. And other than that, I wish you an amazing day, and I will connect with you next time. Take care.